Floss Tube, I'm Liz, a Stitchy bug. This is Floss Tube number 1. I live in Devon, which is in the southwest of the UK. I'm married with 2 children. So Ben is 18 next month and Lila's just turned 10. I work in HR, so I work 4 days a week and juggle home and work and elderly mother, and stitching is what keeps me sane. So I'm a little bit nervous, haven't done this before, so please bear with me. I've got a few notes and a few bits that I'd like to show you, so I hope you'll come along for the ride. So grab yourself a cuppa, make yourself comfortable, and let's see where we end up. So I've been stitching since I was about 19 years old, and I had a big break of, I don't know, maybe about 15 years, maybe more than that, and I came back to stitching a couple of years ago, and I will show you in another video the piece that brought me back to stitching, and it was actually the same one that I ended up taking a break from. Donna, hi, the lovely Donna of Flannel Jammies farm has kind of forced me into doing this, because I sent her a note before Christmas and said that I was hoping to start my own floss tube, and she shared it with all of you. So here I am. So hi Donna. I've been watching the Kitchen Stitchers, love those guys. Their friendship and the fun that they obviously have in each other's company, I really love watching them, and I love the variety of the projects that the 3 of them stitch. I also love Liz and Deb, the Country Stitchers. Again, they have a lovely friendship, and I love the experience and the knowledge that they have, and it's a real joy to kind of watch them. So they're the ones that I've been watching lately, and I'd like to show you a couple of my previous finishes. So this is one that I did last year. Don't know if you can see, there we go. You just about get it all in. So that's Jardin Prive, The Way to Happiness. And this was a free chart that was on their blog, and I will try and find the link and put that below for you if any of you haven't seen this one before. At some point I would like to get that one framed, but good intentions and all that. So another one that I finished, and again unframed, was a Happily Ever After stitch along from Frosted Pumpkins, and I made a few little changes here and there in this one just to make it my own. I used whisper thread for the first time in this one, also some touches and metallics, so for the lamp in Aladdin, the crown in Arthur and the Sword. Loved stitching this one, loved waiting every month to see what the next block was going to be. So that was their stitch along in 2017 that I did. And another stitch along that I did in 2017. So 2017 was the year that I discovered stitch alongs, and I have to say I went a little bit overboard, and I signed myself up to about 10, and I think I actually only finished 2. So this was another one that I finished. And this was actually, move back a little bit to get it all in. This one was from Cross Stitcher magazine. So they had these little charts for each month in the back of the magazine. And I actually got a photograph of my finish featured in their magazine last year, so that was quite exciting for me to see my work in print. I can't pick a favourite, I keep changing my mind as to which month is my favourite. I do love the snowman in January, I love the beehive for June, but that seagull is so cute. So, and here is another of my finishes that I have actually framed. This is another Jardin Prive. So this was their Alice in Wonderland. And my hope is that I'm going to actually have an Alice in Wonderland wall in my house with all different cross stitch pieces on it. So this is the first one that I've done for my Alice wall, and I'm hoping to start another one. It will probably be March when I start the next Alice piece, but I love this one, really love it, and was delighted with the job that they've done on framing that. I have noticed from watching some of the American floss tubers that the framing work in the States seems to be much more kind of ornate, and some of the mounting work and the way that you can get the mounts cut and everything, we don't really have those options over here in the UK. Certainly not anybody that I found to do that work, and I must admit I'm admiring some of the beautiful finishes from floss tubers in the US, and very jealous of some of the things that you're able to get done over there. I've also got some beautiful stitchy things for Christmas. I was very lucky. I have a hubby who supports my cross stitching and is happy to indulge me if there are charts and things that I tell him that I would really like. So he bought me this beautiful one, which is a Renato Parolin Christmas tree. I've seen a few people do this one and I just completely fell in love with it. So I wanted to do it too. I'm not really sure when I'm going to get to start this one, but a girl can hope, and at least it's in my stash. So hopefully that won't be too long before I'm able to start that one. And he also got me this gorgeous book, again Renato Parolin, and lots of smaller designs in this one. And maybe if anybody's interested, I can do a flick through of that in a future video, so let me know if that's something that you'd like to see. So they were my Christmas presents, and I'm a cross stitcher. I like to treat myself as well. There was a sale on So and So just after Christmas, so I treated myself to this beautiful Christmas tree by Alessandra, Adelaide, CT 99. I'm not sure yet what fabric I'm going to do that one on. I'm definitely going to go for the sparkle though. There's a load of Krynic charted for this one, and I'm definitely going for the sparkle. I may regret that when I start stitching it. And then something I've been meaning to try for a while and haven't tried are the block parties by Hands On Design. So I've got snow, and the charts for these also include the little bit of, I don't know whether it's wool or what it is, which goes on the top of the block. So I've got snow, and because who doesn't love bumblebees, I got Buzz. And again, that one had the little bit of wool to go on top of the block. I actually bought the pins that you can see in the picture there quite some time ago, just because they were adorable, and didn't realise at the time that I bought them that there was an actual chart to go with them, so I'm looking forward to having a go at those. I've never finished anything like that. I wouldn't say I'm a sewer, but I love the idea of being able to make something like that with my stitching, so I'm going to give those a go, and looking forward to that. I also bought Ink Circles Damask Square. This is stunning. I love this. I've never stitched anything like this. I've seen other people, so Mieke, the Darling Bluebell, does similar things to this that she stitches, and she's gone for a lot of the bigger ink circles charts, and some that are from her local needle workshop, a designer who actually owns a needle workshop there, and I can't say the name, Mieke. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that, and I do already have a thread picked out, but I forgot to get it ready before I filmed, so sorry about that. And I'm collecting at the moment the Cottage Garden Samplings, the Songbird Garden series. So this is part 6 of that series, and I've just bought that one recently. They are stunning. I do hope to get them stitched fairly soon. I'm not sure whether I'm going to start on the series this year or not. I decided that this year I wanted to finish some of the whips that I've had hanging around too long. So I'm going to allow myself a new start only when I finish a whip, in the hope that I can keep my numbers of whips under control. I'm around about 15 for whips at the moment, and that's enough for me. I don't get huge amounts of stitching time, and I really want to have some finished pieces to show at the end of it. I also bought myself this beautiful fabric from Extra Designs, and I know lots of you buy fabric from her. It has a very unique smell. It smells a bit vinegary to me, and I kind of like that you have to take your chances with what colours she's got available at any given moment, and when I'm in the spendy mood, I go and have a look on Etsy and see what I fancy, what has she got that appeals to me. So this is Hunter's Green. It's darker than it's coming up in the video. I think I've got my lamp on and it's altering the colour a bit, but that's a 32 count linen. I'm just checking the colour name. That's Green Ash, and that's a 36 count linen. And that colour is reasonably true. It's coming up there. The top of the picture there is probably truer than the bottom. And then this one is a 40 count linen, and that's Frosty Aqua. And again, the colour's coming up quite true there. I love this, it's so pretty. I've only just started dabbling in 40 count linen, and it's one of the whips that I've got to show you in a minute. So it was my first time stitching on 40 count, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I love that you only use one strand of floss, so I haven't got to worry about railroading. I love how fine and delicate my stitching looks on 40 count. So I thought, I want more 40 count, I want to do more pieces on 40 count, and I really want to kind of get to grips with that much finer work, because I've just been enjoying it so much. So I have a couple of whips to show you. Not all of my whips, maybe I'll do a whip parade at some point in the future. I didn't actually get organised enough and think to take these off the snaps first, so bear with me, because this one I will need to take off just a moment just to show you my progress. I think I can just do one part of that. So you will be familiar with this one. It's the 'Tis the Season Sal. So that's how far I've got at the moment, and this was my first adventure into 40 count. So it's just a grey fabric, just I can't remember offhand whether it's a Zweigart, just a linen. It's not hand dyed. The grey's not showing up very well in this artificial light. I think this bit nearest my hand here is probably the truer bit of colour. And I'm using the Victoria Motto threads for that one, that Nancy dyed especially for that sale. And those are some beautiful threads. I've never used Victoria Motto before, and I'm loving them. They feel so soft, they work beautifully, and I love the look when they're stitched up, so I've really been enjoying those. The other whip that I wanted to show you today, let me find the cover picture of it. See, I'm really not that organised. Where are we? Here we go. So this is Waxy Moons Designs, and this is their monthly sampler, so this is January. And this was my New Year start, so my session, and you know, we set ourselves these rules and we always find ways to bend them a little and make exceptions. So that was my New Year start, and this is how far I got. So that was about a week's worth of work for me. I'm not a speedy stitcher at all. I maybe get an hour, maybe 2 hours of an evening once the youngest is in bed and once I've done the washing and we've had tea and all of those other things. So so that's my work on that one, and I'm really enjoying that, and I love the idea of having a different sampler for each month. So I'm gradually buying the series of those from Waxy Moon Designs on Etsy, and again I'll put the link below, so if any of you are interested in going and checking them out, you can find them there. Let me check my notes. Right, so plans for stitching for this year. I want to finish 'Tis the Season. I don't think I've got too much more work left on that one. It's my whip for this week, so I'll be working on that one until the end of the week, and then I will swap that out for something else. The other whip that I really want to finish was the Stitchery Stitch Along Quotes to Live By. I'll show you that one in a future video so you can see how far I've got. I haven't touched that one for some time, as it's not an active whip. I didn't want to show you today, but I do want to finish it. It's been hanging around. It's nearly, 2 years since I started it. That was one of my 2017 sale frenzy, and some of those blocks were quite intensive and I just got a little bit bogged down and needed to take a break for a while. So I have picked it up. I've been dabbling with it from time to time, but I really want to get that one finished. And a couple of my other whips I'm going to hopefully get finished. So I'm a Stitchy Bug on Instagram, and I will probably do a whip parade on Instagram at some point when I can get some good light and an hour or so to myself to take some photos. So maybe over the course of the next week I might get to doing that whip parade, and then if there's any that you particularly want to see in a bit more detail, give me a shout and I'll include them in a future video. So that is my sort of big thing, is actually get some of those whips finished so that I can start some new pieces. In terms of planned starts, again another exception to my 1 out 1 in rule is the Harbour Haven Stitch Along, so by the Bay Stitch Along, and it's called Harbour Haven. And again, you will have seen that. I know Jan Hicks completed that one recently and it's absolutely stunning. So that one I've promised myself I'm going to start at the retreat that I'm going on at the end of February. Really, really looking forward to starting that one. The other big piece that I want to start this year is a Renato Parolin design called Il Bosco de Bengston. I will show you that one when I do manage to start it, but I want to order a custom dyed piece of fabric for that one, so it's going to be a little while before I start that. But both of those are quite long pieces, and I have an archway between my lounge and my dining room, and the plan is that one of those pieces will go over the archway on one side, one of those pieces will go over the archway on the other side. So those are my kind of big pieces that I really, really want to start and make some serious progress with this year. I have also signed up for Jack Frost Tree Farm, and I can't remember now if that's Country Cottage Needleworks or Little House Needleworks, but that one's starting in February, and I've signed myself up for an auto ship on that one. It's just very, very cute. I will find out who it is, and again I'll put the link in underneath so that you can go and have a nosy at that one if you're interested. So as I mentioned, you can find me on Instagram. please give me a like. I'd love it if you would subscribe and join me on my journey here on Floss Tube. I do apologise for my first time nerves. I hope you can bear with me, and thank you for welcoming me into this little corner of Floss Tube. I will see you again soon, I hope. In the meantime, be kind. Bye.